Can I share a secret? I wasn't worried the entire time. I knew.
Oh yeah.
I knew they were gonna do it. I just knew.
I'm saying. I had to roll a die. So much pressure. So much pressure to roll.
Yo, but for real, like EG, I think like Twinkle Toes is a hero of Absalom.
I think so. I think we finally found it.
Yep.
Found at least one.
At least
one.
one of them. At least
One of them.
We're still working on the rest of them. But we found it.
That's how Twinkle Toes feels.
So we heard some slate metal doing something. Some metal on metal or some kind of noise on the other side of the door. Banging metal. Astro, Twinkle Toes, I hear something on the inside of that door. I'm concerned I don't have the strength for another fight, but it would behoove us to check it out.
I agree. Bastard, do you have any more healing juice?
I have
On you?
I have something that I think all of us can benefit from, and he's gonna take out another scroll.
3-action heal.
Yes,
3 action
so-
heal. Huh. Mighty nifty for you to have those on hand. It's a good thing you waited.
I was down.
You never know when you might need those resources.
Anyways, so all of us roll a d8 just to heal health.
Is it an individual roll or is it one roll for everybody?
One roll for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
So go ahead and roll that, Astro.
Okay.
Take that health away,
Healing
Jack.
Potions on him or lesser healing potions that we found on 100?
Lesser.
They were lessers,
They were lesser.
which is awesome.
That's better. Yeah.
So we all got 6 points of healing.
6.
Okay.
That's better than the 1 that I rolled, so I'll take that.
Classic Jack.
So Kashak will...
I have Twinkle Toes takes out the other 2 lesser healing potions. Do either of you want these?
Lesser? Yeah, I'll take one.
I could still use one, thank you.
Alright.
That's 2d8, right?
2d8 plus 5.
Plus 3 or 5?
Plus 5.
It would be plus 5. I'll go ahead and take that. And it's 2d8, right? We just said that, but...
2d8 plus 5.
And it's 2d8, right?
It's
Plus 5.
2d8, right? The doctor rolls 2. Yeah.
What is it? It's a lesser healing potion?
I think it's 2d8.
Do you guys want me to end the stream?
Plus
I'll do
5.
it. I'll do it. If you guys don't want to play the game, I'll do it. We can get out of here. I can go to bed early.
Kashak will lay the body of Dr. Forsyth next to the lizard. And Ruxy just sort of mentioned, okay, watch over this real quick. I'll be right back. And then we'll stride
Yes,
over.
the monitor lizards, famously known for not eating dead
Stride
bodies,
over to the door.
especially when they have been starved.
I gave him rations. I gave him like 4 days worth of rations.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Perception for traps. God.
What's your bonus?
My bonus is 10.
As far as you're aware, there are no traps.
He will kick open the door. Boss it open. Bow in hand, of course.
Kick open the door. I need you to roll a reflex save. No, I'm kidding.
Goes.
I'm kidding.
Oh
I'm
my
kidding.
god.
I'm kidding. You see a small room. In front of you, a small rectangular room. As I try to find the proper tools on
Reveal tool.
this, with a small hallway that goes down to your left. And in this room, you see 4 cells with things that are not on the proper Roll20 layer.
Classic roll 20.
In 3 of said cells, you see... I wouldn't quite do that yet. 3 very undead, very ugly creatures. And in one of those cells, with just enough space on either side of him to keep away from the grasping arms of the undead next to him is a full-blooded orc, currently wearing rags, beaten and bloody.
Kashak will take the pendant on his chest and activate it. The corpse word pendant, so he'll be undetectable by undead creatures. Cannot see, hear, smell, or detect me with sensory capabilities like scent and tremor sense. He will turn to his compatriots and he will say, I see a couple of undead creatures and one that seems to be living. I will investigate with this ability.
I found another one of those. Should I come with you and do it too? Or do you just want to go?
If you'd like, if you can be undetected by these creatures, we can do this.
Alright. I activate my corpse ward pendant as well.
We step on in.
I think as both of you step in, as I chime in here. First of all, what you see beneath these rags is this hulking, full-blooded, massive orc. I mean,
Yeah, that's right. That's my art.
I was not expecting this. Oh man, what?
He is like 6'5", 6'6", like 320, like thick, like all pure muscle. And he has across his chest and his thighs these horrible looking scars that some of them look very old and some of them look very fresh. And there is blood dripping down like his arms, and like there's a little dried pool of blood at his feet. And one thing that really stands out are these odd, jagged tattoos that seem to extend from his the corners of his eyes out into the back of his head. And he drops this like rudimentary looking like shiv type thing that he was trying to jiggle into the keyhole of the lock, and he drops it and just says, "No, I've been being good. I haven't been moving. Please don't hurt me anymore. Please don't hurt."
Friend, you'll be all right. We don't work for Hendred. We actually just slew him in combat. We are your friends. We are his enemies.
I have his dick in a bag right here.
Not that he would know that that's his necessarily.
We have his penis.
Wait, let me see it.
I'll know it when I see it. Show it to me. We have his body decaying in the room behind us. Tell me, are these creatures to your left and right your friend?
Oh, they've been put here to torture me. If I move at all, they can attack me. They know I am here. Why can't they see you? Are you ghosts? Are you real?
We saw that they were undead. We have these pendants that make us undetectable. We're just gonna like kill him for you really quick. Does that work for you?
Get me out of here, please.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Okay. Shall we?
Wait,
I believe
before
so.
you guys start, Bastro will take out one last scroll, and then you guys can do whatever.
Bastro, is that scroll gonna do what I think it does?
Bastro's gonna be like, "Yep."
Perhaps it's best for you to do that right away.
Yeah, let's start off.
I can definitely start it off.
Yeah.
They'll see me though as soon as I enter the room. I feel like.
That's perfectly fine.
All
Just do it from there.
Twinkle
Just do it right from there. Do it right from there.
Bam. That's what a scroll sounds like when it goes off.
It's a human voice saying, "Bam!"
Well, that's only the scroll for Cure Wounds, though.
Yeah. The
Each scroll has a different comic book noise indication.
Magic missile is whammo.
The Bastro cast.
Lightning bolt is pow.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, zap.
Zap is good. Okay.
They need to roll a fortitude save, or they just take the damage?
I believe they just take the damage. Let me just double check that though.
I believe it's fortitude save.
Probably
Is it?
basic fort save, right?
While you
Either
look
fort
it
or
up,
will.
I should mention, Twinkle Toes and
Yeah,
Kashak,
basic.
now that you get closer to this orc, both of you feel emboldened being near him.
Nice.
Oh.
Just gonna say that.
Yeah, Kashak rarely meets someone, especially in Absalom, that is bigger than him. And so, having somebody who's physically imposing standing near him is probably like jarring but exciting. Like,
Twinkletoes literally barely bigger than his head.
someone else. Like,
We don't need to play this out. They are currently locked behind iron bars. If Kashak wants to sit back for 5 minutes and just take pot shots, he can.
he will.
What
If they're
he's
not,
gonna do.
if they're not gonna like show any sort of like sense of movement, he will just take.
Oh, I mean, once you start shooting them, your corpse ward goes off. They see you and they start like reaching out through the
But
bars
they're
at
behind.
you.
They're behind bars.
But they are currently locked up.
I mean, yeah, Kashak will just take them out.
Yeah, so it takes you.
Twinkletoes helps.
Yeah.
If you help, they will be in a position to attack you back.
Yeah,
I stepped back.
ranged attacks versus anything else.
Yeah, I'm saying if you make.
I have a ranged weapon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
My crossbow.
So we just sit here fucking just shooting them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes,
What was my healing from the scroll, by the way?
Yeah.
takes like 3 minutes.
I do set that off just so the orc can also get some.
Let me also take off Bastra's aura here.
Aura of bliss.
We all get 4 points of healing.
4 points.
Okay.
And yeah, Kashak will just Kashak and Twinkletoes will just sort of take these creatures out from.
Yeah, it takes you like 2 minutes. They are undead. They are pretty hardy. You don't hit every shot, especially with the bars. But eventually, you're able to knock them out.
Yeah.
Get your arrows back. You can unlock the doors with the keys that you've got.
Yeah, when Kashak is like just about to finish up, I turn to the keys and start finding the right one to unlock. This guy.
And eventually you are
Area.
able to get this full-blooded orc fellow out of his current predicament. I should also mention, I got caught up in the reveal nonsense. There is a little hallway down to your left here.
Oh.
So let me give you some text delve flavor for that. That room has a long wooden workbench along the northern wall. In the western portion of said room, there is like a stack of books, scrolls, small bottles, and the skull of some ursine predator. And it's watched over by a humanoid skeleton on a wire stand. Looks to be some kind of workspace.
I'm gonna check for traps and then go investigate and see what nicky knackies I can find.
+8. You don't see any traps.
As you all let him out of the cage first, he like collapses, and very similar to a Kashak-esque greeting, will prostrate himself before all three of you and just be like, thank you, please. I have known nothing but suffering in this place. Is it true that you have killed the proprietor?
Yes.
Yes, we took one of ours too, so.
Are you
I
still
am
in pain, friend?
I am in your forever debt. Please, if there's anything I may do to repay your freeing me from this place, I owe each of you my life. I have known nothing but horrid torture down here. Do any of you know the deity Mazluda?
Is that another name for Desna or Aridin?
You can go ahead and roll a religion check.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Untrained religion. Here we go.
I'm not untrained. Oh. I thought you were calling me
17,
out.
Yeah.
Untrained.
10.
Basra?
17.
17? Kashak, you're the only one, and it makes sense. You're the only one who would have...
It actually makes a lot of sense.
Only one who would have heard of Mazluda.
The reason it makes sense for Kashak is Mazluda is a god who is worshipped primarily in Garund,
Yeah,
in
Milwaukee.
the regions surrounding the Mwangi Expanse.
Yeah.
And this orc continues and says, if you know Masluda, my deity, you know that it is anathema for me to betray another's trust. Please, I commit myself to you until my debt has been repaid. Allow me to ingratiate myself in your service.
Twinkletoes is gonna like stand up as straight as she can to like maybe come up to his knee.
That's a hard maybe.
Maybe. And she's 2'9". Okay, like she probably comes up like
Yeah,
mid,
but
like mid-thigh.
Oski's mostly shin, so.
Okay. Friend, what did you say your name is? Did you say your name?
You may call me Oski.
Oski.
Musky.
It's nice to meet you, Oski. I'm Twinkletoes. This is Bastra, and that's Kashak.
Hello.
Oski, are you still in any pain? Are you still hurt?
I would not expend any resources on me at this time, if that is what you are asking.
Fair enough.
The game master did not give me mechanical hit point loss.
It's actually 2 HP, I just didn't tell her.
Kashak will also kneel down next to you, kind of like becoming eye level. A friend, ordinarily this is where I would say that you are in no debt, and you are not owed anything to us, but it would appear that that would be hollow word for a follower of your deity and a follower of your religion. Mayhaps you could serve us in our mission. We are currently searching for missing peoples across the city of Absalom in the service of some, let's say, benefactors, some people who are looking for those people as well. If you are a person who believes that people should be free and people should be able to live their lives free of evil, then you would be certainly welcome within our ranks. Tell me, what is a skill set you possess, or what is it you can provide to a team who might be looking for people who are missing or lost?
What mechanical class are you?
What is your
he's
class
looking to-
and perhaps your background if you're feeling
Maybe your archetype as well, like if you just want to.
Well, Paladin is
said-
an actual in-world thing.
You said your name was, Kashak.
Kashak, the Black Scale. That is how you may refer to me at this time.
Kashak, I could answer this question more fully if I had my gear and attire. Hendrid frequently mocked me, stating it was hidden in the smeltery. Do you know what that means?
I'll say that I do. I must be honest, we did not spend much time on the first level of this building.
Did you say smeltery?
That's
he-
the words that he mocked me with.
Cat, could that be referring to the ochre jelly?
I wonder if there's like a literal smelter, like an actual forge on the first level.
Yeah.
That thing melts anything that enters it. But
That's true. We didn't run across like a whole bunch of fancy armor or anything, right? We didn't.
did you perhaps lose a skin suit or three?
Oh,
Yeah, does he have his
Mention
skin?
it. I did lose 3 skin suits. It's very strange you would bring that up.
It's just convenient you molted into your 4th as they got there.
Oh, Brandon, I
You
think
did
we
not
could-
come across any crazy armor or weapons. There's also a singular door on this level that you guys haven't explored, so I don't know.
Oh, there is.
It could be
wait.
anywhere.
yeah.
Wait,
Wait, where?
Oh, there it is.
That one. Yeah, okay. So
Could be anywhere.
There's one section of this particular floor that we haven't explored yet as well. Perhaps it's somewhere in there. Would you be willing to come with us to search?
I will follow you to the ends of the earth at this point.
Let's go, little guy. And she.
Kashak will bring.
I like her.
I'm just
Kashak will go
imagining
back.
Twinkletoes riding on his shoulders.
I'm gonna first like quick investigation on these desks, see it for knicky knackies. So
For
I
what?
didn't do that. For my knickknacks.
Sorry, say that again.
No.
There are a number of like bottles, parchments, scrolls, books, various. All of it looks to be necromantic research to some degree and like spell components.
Are the said scrolls like magic scrolls?
Well,
Like
I'll get there.
spell scrolls?
I'll get there.
Okay.
I'll get there.
Sorry.
I was setting the scene, doing a little bit of sprinkling a little bit of fluff in there. The bottles on the counter are primarily like scientific equipment. Total can be sold for 1 gold. There are tomes and treatises on necromantic lore, which collectively comprise Pratchett's spellbook.
Oh.
But he had no need to carry it on him actively. He would just need to prepare from it each day.
Yeah.
You have the writings to cast the ritual Create Undead for whites. Plus additional necromantic spells. Nobody's here is an arcane caster, correct?
No.
So this isn't really useful to anyone because they're not scrolls, but the book itself, outside of the ritual, is worth 25 gold. The ritual itself, you're going to be hard-pressed to find a way to sell that.
Is it super evil?
It's like... Yeah, there's like evil, and then there's like creating undead evil. Like, it's... You would have to find other people like Pratchett to sell it to. So there you go.
We
But
probably don't want to.
But just-
They're like a scroll recycle service where they take evil scrolls and they pay me
Well,
to then turn them.
Good thing we don't have like a connection to like a huge underground organization.
Yeah. Too bad.
House of Flames.
Too bad we don't have a whole lot of like people who are a little bit shady who might.
there are also 2 actual spell scrolls. There's one for Gentle Repose and one for Bind Undead.
Bastard takes both.
Why?
Why?
Bind Undead, I assume, was used on the ghosts, and like, so that's why it was broken.
But it's a scroll from Bind Undead. It hasn't been used.
Remember that he was an arcane caster.
Maybe in case he needed it. Yeah.
No, he could learn the spell from a scroll.
But that expends the scroll.
Does it?
When you would transcribe it into your spell book.
Don't think it
That's how-
does.
that's how that
Well,
works.
we'll take a look at that later. Either way, doesn't matter. None of you are arcane casters.
Kashaka's an objection about
Two
Like,
belonging.
these are strange pictures.
You also find another like I would say like milk crate, but it's like a wicker basket kind of deal that has a spell book and a glass orb. If you look on the cover of said spell book, you'll realize that it belongs to Kamenoles, and presumably the orb does as well.
What was the
I
order?
will grab those for.
It's a glass
for...
orb. Anyone who knows anything about wizards might assume that it would be his bonded item.
Okay.
And if you read any of the notes, obviously it's a lot of really dark stuff. A lot of it is about his trial and error process of creating from scratch this ritual to create whites. But he also has a number of musings on the psychic bond between twins and ideas about how to retain that bond after death. He has a number of sketches and half-finished formulae that indicate the design of some sort of necromantic experiment involving the twin children. The results of which you have seen. Last door?
Yeah.
Last door.
Nothing much to do with that information yet.
The takeaway is the 2 scrolls and a 25 gold spell book that you can sell. You can
Yeah.
also sell the bonded item and the scroll spell book from Kamenoles. Or you
Or
might
be
just...
good people.
I'm
Or you
inclined
might-
to give it back to him.
yeah.
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 I'm giving you options. You do what you want. You find
That looks like a smelter.
So kill Kameniles, turn him undead with the scrolls,
you could turn him into a white.
and then
Turn it
give
into
him,
an evil campaign.
then
Give him back
stuff
to Eunice.
Yeah, give all that back to Eunice and make him the greatest necromancer that's ever existed in all of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk about a story arc.
I mean, I'm spitballing here. I don't know. Like that may be where the adventure wanted us to go.
We'll storyboard it.
To show up at 8 a.m. at the grocery store.
We'll storyboard it and make it into a comic series of what if 3KG.
There's your dead master. He's a white now. Pay us money.
You find a heavy industrial-looking forge with a basin for melting metal that takes up most of the rear section of this small room. The equipment looks old and half ruined, with a severely cracked chimney extending up along the back wall. There's also a number of like shelves and like drawers and stuff along the side walls. You find about 30 gold worth of assorted jewelry, finery, clothes. Looks like all of the like valuable stuff that he took from these people. And you also find Oski's stuff.
Nice.
Yay!
Yeah, Oski goes into the room and looks very relieved, and again goes on one knee and picks up. The first thing I think that he picks up is a shield.
The forge.
That picks up what?
Never
He
mind. Go
picks
ahead.
up the whole forge.
The whole
Just keep
forge.
talking.
Picks up the forge.
Throws it on the three of you. Melts all three of you.
Finally, my weapon.
And then he used the ritual to turn them into whites.
There we go.
There we go.
He's actually the boss of book 2.
Head
I'll
start.
see you in 7 levels.
He picks up a shield that is this, what looks like used to be this like resplendent silver that on it has what's known as a shield boss. And if you're unfamiliar with what that is, it's like a bulkhead on a shield that you like attach, and it serves as like a way to like bludgeon things essentially with a shield.
It's an upgrade from a shield minion.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep. It's just like a big, thick, like protrusion from the center of the shield. But this it has inscribed on it this intricate artwork of like vines intertwining with this sword that's in the middle of it. And he's on one knee and takes this and turns to the party and says, "I am a redeemer of Mazluda.
Hey.
And should you accept me into your party, my mission is to rid the world of evil, to improve myself along with it, and to make up for my past misdeeds through good acts and the exiling of evil."
Has anybody in this room not been to jail before? Like,
I have never been incarcerated. I have
Been
not.
incarcerated.
okay, never mind then. Retract the question. Move on. It's fine.
If you performed are we starting to do background checks to be in the party? Because like I'll consent to that.
Takes at least 2 weeks at this point.
And you see that he has full plate armor that he starts to slowly put on, and the chest plate has this similar artwork as the shield boss. It's like this resplendent artwork that like shoots up, and then he has this like almost half robe that he interweaves inside of the armor. That's this like deep royal blue color that he puts over himself. And again, as you're doing this, though, the thing that sticks out the most from him are these very. Oh yeah, here's the. You gotta adjust it slightly, Will. There's.
There it is.
Oh,
It's
nice.
It's covered. Yeah, there you go.
Very cool.
There are these jagged tattoos extending from the corners of his eyes that like go across his entire temple. That like are oddly misplaced from who this person is sort of portraying themselves to be. But otherwise, after he sort of dons all of his armor and this like half robe, he looks like a knight of knights in this imposing figure. But he has this sort of like half-cocked smile most of the time that you see in the artwork of this sort of like it sort of makes all of the ferocity of a full orc dissipate. And anyone who gets close to him, let's say mechanically within 10 feet of him, feels
Spitballing.
emboldened by his presence.
Cool.
Kashak will certainly do so. Once you have all the armor on, he'll kind of like slink over, like almost like crouched and low, and he will stride over and start like kind of running a claw like inside your armor, like on like the legs pieces and like the chest pieces, and just like in like a schoolboy in a candy store kind of fashion, where it's like he's just massively impressed by the craftsmanship and the work and how beautiful this all kind of looks from a functional standpoint. Also, it's just like peering over all of this.
You also would have seen before he put on the armor, he put on massive hand wraps that extended all the way up his arm that had like runes etched into them.
Cool.
So what exactly is a redeemer? I'm not familiar with that line of work.
Twinkle Toes, was it, yes?
Yes, that's me.
Without revealing too much of my past on my first 10 minutes of getting to know you, my goal is to rid the world of evil.
Yes, you said that, yeah.
Let's say Masluda awakened something in me that I had previously not quite known, and set me on a path towards righteousness. I had been unaware of what goodness could do for the world before I prescribed myself to Masluda. And she set me straight. My previous life is no more, and I seek to make good the wrongs I have committed.
So the thing that you're redeeming is like yourself, not like the world. Yeah?
It's sort of one and the same. I seek self-improvement, and through such acts I seek to improve my community.
Right. I like that.
It's very therapeutic, if you will. Self-help is important, you know.
Absolutely. I start every morning with yoga. For sure. Yeah. I think we'll get along, little guy.
I agree, big fella.
Kashak will just like start kind of walking through the door and just say, I think it's time for us to head over to Desmond and Isabella and sort out what our next moves will be.
Let's go retrieve Kameniles and his lady, who I can't remember the name of.
Lyra.
Ira.
Swampwalker.
Get Kameniles and Lyra. Let's take everybody back to Desmond's and plan from there.
Yep. So you get back.
I think also, really quick, Will. Sorry,
Sure.
that Oski is just like taken aback by the fact that he, like, for the first time is kind of recognizing that you're carrying a dead body, Kashak.
Yeah.
And it is like sort of just bows his head because he heard Twinkle Toe say that you lost one of your own, and so he just sort of like, he doesn't bring it up, but he just sort of like looks at Twinkle Toes and like puts two and two together, and then like follows you all.
This entire time, Twiggletoes' eyes have been like puffy and red too. She's like,
Literally been crying. Yeah.
yeah.
You get back to the. So you got to go back up the stairs all the way up to the top floor. Right about me. Where you
We
go
feel
back.
like we should get Ralso. Should we do anything about Ralso?
Yeah. What did
Ralso
Hendred
was gone.
said something about her? What happened? Yeah.
He said that she was gone.
Yeah.
Okay, then Kashak will not worry about it.
I think Bastard will go after Kameniles and
Yeah,
Close
you
the
all
door.
are.
Yeah.
You
I think
open
we're
the
all
door.
gonna-
They're like still asleep. You wake them up. They're groggy, but Kameniles lights up and perks up a little bit when he gets it. If you I should start with.
Yeah, I immediately
Give back
him
his
back
spellbook
his
and his
spellbook
bonded item.
and
Yeah.
the orb.
We wave the orb under his nose like a smelling salt.
Like a smelling salt.
I know that smell. It's smelly.
Smells like my glass orb.
A smelly smell that smells.
No, that smells smelly.
My crystal orb! And he grabs it. He just kind of holds it against his face. Just rubbing it up and down. For a little bit too long.
We're so glad to reunite you with your orb, but we would really like to get you somewhere safer. So if you wouldn't mind coming with us, we're gonna make our escape.
Yeah, there you go. He's like, dude, the book. Did you get the book?
Yeah, it's in your hand.
I didn't even
under
see the
orb.
book. I
You
was
got
too
the
focused
glass
on the orb.
You got the glass orb first. We'll get the book. You got the glass book when we get there. All right. You get one thing per
The
trip.
glass book.
We get the glass book once we have the orb. I'm drunk. I'm sorry.
You tie the book to his stick and tie the stick to him, so it's just
Yeah.
So it's like little brother
yeah.
and the chasing after the dog, feeding the chicken.
Yeah, so they follow you out. You guys going down the main staircase?
We're just going back to Desmond.
Yeah.
We're
Just
just
giving you
gonna-
the chance to make
Yeah,
any decisions
no.
you want to make.
I don't think we want to spend any more time here. I don't see a reason
First
to clear
floor.
out the rooms. I don't see a reason to do anything else. We can let that come along as it needs to.
Hey, Will, may
Yes.
I make a request? It's really hurting me that each of these levels reminds me that Dr. Forsyth is dead with the pawn. Just putting that out there.
Oh yeah, sorry. Let me. Well, Dr. Forsyth is still there, in
That's
body.
fair. I'll just put the dead symbol.
on my
Oh,
shoulder.
I got it. Here you go. No problem.
Oh dear.
Oh, it's
No,
worse.
I wanted to make sure we annotated things properly.
Your problem was that it wasn't accurately denoting that he was dead, right? That was
Yeah.
the problem you were bringing up.
Because he is there.
No, you're right. That was the
Yeah.
problem I was bringing up. That
It was
you're right.
the narrative inaccuracy. That was what.
I want constant reminders, fully accurate, that my character is no longer with
For
us.
anybody not watching the map, Will decided to color his token red and put a skull on it instead of deleting it and putting his new character's token down.
Twinkle Toes does want to make perception checks at each of these doors to see if there's anybody struggling inside.
Roll
really-
like 8 perception checks.
8.
Yeah,
Okay.
just for fun. Gotta roll more dice tonight. We haven't rolled many
11.
dice. Keep going.
17.
Keep going.
14.
Okay.
18.
You don't
I'm
hear
switching
anybody.
dice.
You don't hear anybody anywhere.
Anywhere?
Nothing.
That was only 4 rolls.
I know. I got bored.
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so I don't hear anybody else. And we're all
It's time for us
pretty
to
banged
leave.
up. Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, so we continue to march through the main hallway, main lobby.
Okay.
Is
We
Rolf
left-
go through these doors?
We left some stuff here, right? We paid for these rooms,
No, you took all of your stuff up to the 2nd floor.
but we paid her for these rooms. No.
Oh, I mean, you could always check the desk.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back here. Rifle. Check this door behind me too.
Because I remember thinking we'll just rob this place and win. We'll just get our money back later.
Let's see here. I've got to go back so many pages.
I know. It's hard.
As far as the desk, it doesn't appear like there's anything at the desk. There's just the logbook for the guests.
We take the logbook, right?
Yeah, I feel like you should take that.
Yeah, we take the logbook.
Okay. You can find the key pretty easily to this room. That's not the reveal tool. There we go.
The room back there. Yeah.
This looks to be like some kind of check room, like coat check. Coat room is lined with shelves and cluttered with baggage, piles of linen, wooden rack holding a small collection of liquor and wine bottles, and more miscellany, apparently. is the word
Anyone
they
want to
use.
come in here who is better at looking for things? My eyes are still pretty puffy right now.
Yeah, Kashak can take a look for sure. You mean a roll perception check on that? I can't get in the door.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Can't get through, you said?
I can't get through the door. 29, regardless. I'll just stack on top of a Twinkle Toes here.
Oh.
There you go. 20.
29?
No, sorry, just 28 on the perception.
28? There doesn't seem to be much of anything of import here. It seems like most of the money was either in the financial office or with Pratchett. Most of the valuables were in the refinery. Most of the stuff here looks to be the scraps, like the, random linen, the luggage bags themselves. You do notice one fine, silk luggage bag. Looks to be embroidered in Minkayan design. Something that might have been interesting long ago, but is to be expected at this point. Potentially valuable, but at the same time, maybe not. Depends on what you want to do with it. The liquor is there. There are probably about 15, 20 gold in various liquor.
Kashak will take the silk luggage bag and stuff it full of all the liquor, and then we'll leave.
Cool.
Wait.
So you get outside. And as you open the doors, you notice something funny.
Like ha funny or like weird funny?
I think it's a ha funny, but we'll see what you think. You notice that the square or the road outside seems to be rather empty for the middle of the day, except for two figures. One would be the body or the corpse of some person who is lying dead in the middle of the street, and the other would be a tall man with a halberd standing next to it, point down, in what appears to be a flayed human skin.
What?
Oh!
Oh,
The skin that escaped.
The flayed human, like the flayed skin went on
thank
rampage
God.
through the streets,
Oh,
and then
okay.
killed somebody, but this guy killed it.
And
Alright,
Oh, yeah, wow.
you look a little
Thank you, Hero
closer,
Absalom.
and you
Oh, no.
recognize a certain Hell Knight.
Desmond, coming through.
No, not Desmond.
No,
it's
Isabella.
Was it Isabella?
It's Isabella.
Nice.
Yes! Finally a hero of Absalom. Yeah.
Finally.
We've been looking for one.
So we've
I
got two now.
dash
We've got
up to
two.
her and before running to her, I just bow really quick and I say, "It's so good to see you."
I was beginning to get a bit worried.
We killed Pratchett. He's dead. He also killed Dr. Forsyth, but we found a new friend, and everybody basically that's gone missing. It's from here. It's
Do you have
nice.
evidence? Proof?
Yeah. And I show her Ralso's book. I show her the logbook. I show her everything that details.
Not here, not here. We must get going. The Edgewatch
Yeah.
will certainly be here soon. I'm so terribly sorry for your loss, but we must get back. And
Yeah.
she kind of pulls the pole arm out of the ground, sheaths it on her back, and just begins a light jog back towards the Eastgate district.
We'll follow her. Well, while we're traveling, Kashak,
Sure.
unless you have something else before we're
No,
here,
go.
but Kashak will kind of stride up to her and, Isabella, what have you been up to and working on while we were gone? I understand we were away for a few days and disposed with this place. What has... Tell me of your travels.
Let's get back to somewhere safer, and we'll share notes.
Sense motive.
Your perception is a...
Are you doubting my girlfriend?
100%.
What's your...
Rude.
Plus
sense
10.
motive?
Plus 10 perception. Kashak doesn't know her.
Yeah, that's fair.
It genuinely seems like she doesn't want to talk. She just wants to get back to somewhere safe.
And she's taking us back to Desmond's.
You're going towards the Eastgate district at
Right,
this point.
okay.
You assume Desmond's, yeah.
Yeah, he'll kind of like squint a little bit, and then like let her go. The lizard is following us, right? Everybody's coming along. We got a lizard. We got Dr. Forsyth. We got everybody.
The
coming
lizard
along.
is just on the sand, and you hear people like, especially now, people are like watching your group just kind of jog by as
Is that a lizard?
this woman in half plate and this massive pole arm, tiny little halfling.
It was like just doing like flips off of like sides of buildings and shit, like as she's running, like
a half elf, a bald half elf with a bird, a full
we're
orc.
forgetting that Bastro's bald now.
Yeah, Bastro's
Yeah.
bald now. It's actually like fuzzy now. It's just a little
Yeah.
fuzzy. A massive full orc, a large lizard man who has a body over one shoulder, and a monitor lizard on a rope in his other hand.
I love it so much.
It's Absalom. No judgment. No judgment allowed in Absalom.
You all make it to the border of the Eastgate district and the Precipice Quarter, and Isabella kind of slows down. She says, I'm sorry. I'm sure you all are a bit exhausted. We need to get away from the Precipice Quarter. It's, well, especially that area is going to be a bit lively now that, well, whatever happened in there happened. And
Did Kameniles and Lyra run with us?
oh yeah, they're coming along too.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
They're like 30 feet behind you, just
Yeah.
as they're like starving to death as we speak.
We have them on ropes too. by the way.
Oh my god.
Yikes.
No, absolutely not. I will not allow that.
Just let them run away. Just let them get away. Just run, flee the streets.
No, they like catch up to you and they're just heaving. Kameniles with his orb just slowly rubbing it on his face. Isabella's like, you all have had a bit of a rough adventure in there. We can talk about it. I was sent by Desmond to check on you after you didn't come back after a day. And well, I got here and was waiting outside for a bit. Maybe I saw something, heard something, and all of a sudden that ghastly thing came barging out of the door and killed somebody walking through the street, tried to strangle him to death. Oh, damn near crushed him.
We faced 3 more of those creatures. They were definitely formidable. I'm happy that you were there before it caused too much damage or destruction in the area.
You remember the night that we met you?
Of course. I do.
Of course you do.
I'll never forget.
There was a
Tipsy
group
Tender?
of adventurers that we subdued.
Yes. Yes. Was that
That
them?
was one of them. Yeah.
My gods. I can't imagine the horrors you witnessed down there, but we should really get back. We both have reports to make to Desmond, and we'll see what happens next, I suppose. And she continues walking now. It's going to be another about 30 minutes to get out of like the main area of the Eastgate district out into the pseudo suburbs that are still in the wall on that section. If we want to, actually, I've got a map for this. Let's just do a map.
Ah,
It's a map.
Not that. We were just there. Here. So, like way out in this area, in the kind of, rural suburbs inside the main wall of Absalom, is where Desmond has a little cottage. Eventually you get back there. It takes a good hour from start to finish. But you arrive, and Desmond is waiting for you. After a short knock, the door opens. He welcomes you back in. He has coffee on the stove already, some bread and cheese, welcomes you in. Again, I apologize for not having enough seats. It's usually just myself, and I've got a chair for when Isabella visits. But oh God, here, put him on the bed. He just gestures to Kashak, gestures at his bed. Never mind. I'm sorry. Did you all... Well, let's just start. What happened? You want to tell me what happened here?
Yeah. I tell him everything.
We tell
And you tell him. Sure.
we tell him everything. I don't think we hold anything back. I don't think we take any small detail. I think we just share everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like just nodding, taking it in. You see that he's like writing notes, just like he did with your report on the or not the Dreaming Palace, the House of the Plains. He's just very attentive, writing things down. You finish your story, and he says, "All right, okay. So I don't know what stood out to you all, but it seems like this was mostly self-contained in terms of the disappearances. You said he had a list of most of the names, if not all of them."
Yeah.
Yes.
We have the logbook and Rosso's personal journal that described most of the torture and murders that they committed.
All right. And you had his financial records, yeah? You said that as well?
Yes.
We
Yes.
took them from the office, right?
Do you mind if
Yeah, we
I
had
just take a look at all the paperwork?
It looked heavily doctored, but yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Now, Isabella, yes? I had you looking into the Copper Hands. You hear anything about this heist that they're planning for the Radiant Festival? The Radiant Parade? No, I can't say I did. And she looks up at you all and says, they've been escalating their violence recently. Moving on from petty theft to, well, a bit more bold robberies, and a couple of murders have appeared that we believe are connected to them. But I haven't been able to get much information on it, and I still have no idea where they're located. We just know that they mostly operate in the Precipice Quarter, but if they're planning a bank, and I'll remind you guys, but if they're planning a heist, some kind of bank robbery, then, well, all of those are in the Coins Districts, far outside of their jurisdiction. So it must be something worth their while that they're after.
Is the Radiant Festival going to go on, and how much more time do we think we have before the Copperhand strikes? We have days, weeks? What are we thinking?
Well, the Radiant Parade, according to the note given to Rosso by her contact with the Copperhand, I'm actively trying to find the note, I'm sorry. The Radiant Parade is in just over 2 weeks. And while I'm not sure if they're planning on anything in the interim, if they're planning a large-scale operation where they're calling in outside help, in the coins, nonetheless, well, it is certainly going to be an involved endeavor on their part. Unfortunately, the note says, "Got a job if you're interested."
Big money in plain sight. Strike while the streets are soaked with tourists. We need a Jimmy UN.
Yeah. Coincides with the Radiant Parade. And the things that she's
You have
been...
that memorized, DG?
She found it in her notes.
No.
I was about to say,
Will said 2 words and it like unlocked a brain blast. Her eyes rolled back.
I have really good memory. I can memorize anything.
I was impressed.
The spirit of Agents of Edgewatch ran through her.
But I think we've got a bit of time to narrow down. I will continue, now that we know at least a direction, to take a look at it. I think you all have earned some time off. And some time to mourn.
Perhaps we take the rest of today and the evening to organize the materials that we collected from the Dreaming Palace, say our final goodbyes to Xavier Forsyth, and then get back to work in the morning.
I just realized that Viers is the end of Xavier. I got it. I understand that that's a nickname now.
How about, Kashak, I give you a counter offer. You can do that for the rest of the day, and then I give you 2 weeks off to do whatever you want while I collect information.
Wow. 2 whole weeks of vacation.
It's not that I don't trust your skills in the more delicate arts of gathering information. I just don't see many orcs or lizard folk around these parts.
Have you know that I was the most skilled negotiator of my tribe?
Sell me this
I
pen.
think he just is talking about discretion and not wanting off faces.
This is a pen. It writes words if you know them. You have to know them first to write them because you have to write them.
You've got it. I'll take it for a
This is
copper.
a
Thank
pen.
you.
That's how it works. Yep.
As you can see, I'm skilled.
Mastered the art of that.
I have a few contacts. I'll start doing some digging. But I urge you all to rest. You seem like you've been through quite a bit. All of you. Mechanically, you're going to have 2 weeks of downtime. Each week can be used to do a different activity. You may, for instance, use a skill, such in the case of Twinkletoes might do, to earn some income with your performances. You could also use that time to retrain a skill or a feat or an ability that you've chosen if you wanted to change it to something else. You would simply need to find a trainer who is adept at that skill, and have them train you for a small fee. Also, I believe, Desmond, you had something for them, yes? Desmond, so, right, yeah. Got some payment for you here. And he just, pulls out, assuming that everything checks out in the books, which I'm assuming it does. And he just, drops a small sack on the side table next to Bastro.
Master takes it.
And it's just another 50 gold.
Whoa.
In various denominations. Sorry, there's a lot of copper in there. I hardly ever use my change, it's just hard to get rid of sometimes.
I understand that your particular line of work ends up with a couple of singles here and there.
Yeah, well, just can't get rid of them fast enough. I mean, shoot, it's hard when you're carrying platinum all over the place. I mean, you know what I'm saying, right, Kashak?
Walking on the streets by day, doing something else by night, you know how it is. That's kind of lifestyle you're living.
I don't know what you're referring to.
All right, then.
General statement, I feel like.
Maybe that was somebody else I saw portraying themselves as a Hell Knight in that particular club on the coins, but that
If they
may be
were, I'd kill them.
neither here nor there. Why I might have been frequenting that club, that's a question for a different lizard. Not this one either. He puts a hand over the small monitor lizard's mouth.
As he was turning to ask him a question.
No, not this one. Don't ask her.
Cool.
If that's divided by 3, Oski is not taking any cut of the 50 gold.
Yeah, we'll do this all off air. There's a lot of loot to go through. Kashak will very seriously kind of come up to Desmond and Isabella. Thank you for keeping our eyes and ears out here while we were dealing with our situation in the Dreaming Palace. It was a hard battle, and it's good to know we have allies around the city to make sure that the fight for good is being continued. I think I speak for all of us when I say that we thank you for your generosity in giving us time to grieve our fallen friend and recoup ourselves before the battle that is to come. You might see us around the city. You might see us around town for the next 2 weeks, but I think we'll take our leave here and head back to our shared loft.
We'll get word to you once we know what's what.
Right.
And by the grace of Masluda, my name is Oski, and I pledge myself to your service. He says, like, towering over everyone except maybe Kashak. These folks rescued me from the depths of hell within the Dreaming Palace. I would be honored to serve amongst your ranks and rid this world of the evil you seek to sort out.
Well, son, I appreciate the offer. But my order isn't currently taking new recruits.
Oh no, he's with us.
No, he's with us. He's just telling you that he's one of us. That's what he's trying to say.
And he sort of like sheepishly looks around and is like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought.
Oh my bad. Oh sorry.
Like, you're not all of the team. Okay, I get that now.
No, they're more of a contractors.
Well, then I graciously impose myself to be a contractor.
I mean, if you all want to do a group rate, we can work that out.
Yeah, we're in sort of like a consulting firm situation at this point, so if you could just do like we could set something up for maybe a 3-month contract to get this all put together.
Well, I need to...
We can work out the details when our lawyers get here, but like you said, 2 weeks of downtime. We're going to take some PTO for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll be back in shape.
Look, I need to talk to some of the more higher up decision makers. I'll get back to you on Monday.
Listen, we've all been there. I understand.
I can talk about my greatest weakness if that's what you want.
No,
your greatest weakness that is actually a strength.
This sucks. I hate this. So I think we just...
My greatest weakness is that I'm too nice.
Yeah, there it is.
I work too hard.
I work too hard.
I'm too committed.
I'm too dedicated.
Yeah.
After we all share our greatest weakness, we all sort of leave Desmond's place and go back to our shared house, which I believe is in the Precipice Quarter.
It is in the Precipice Quarter. It is in the Precipice Quarter.
So
it also does not have a bed large enough for Oski. But he can figure that out.
We
have a spare room right now.
Well, we have that weird room where the dragon is guarding all of our treasure. We can just kick the dragon out and then put Oski in there.
That's a pull. Think that's where we're gonna end it next week. We'll get into some downtime right at the beginning, and we'll talk a little bit about what that means, as it is our first instance of downtime and some of the things that my players have already talked to me about doing, and I'm really excited for. So we'll get into that, and then we'll figure out what's going on, maybe, with the Copper Hand. We'll see you next week, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Do you have something to tell the group that you told me?
Oh, I do.
Yeah. I feel like it's important for me to bring that up here.
I completely forgot. We just really got wrapped up in terrible bits that I just lost the train of thought that was arriving at station level 5.
Let's go.
Oh.
That's so hype. Okay, awesome.
Oh, yes.
I'm ready.
So we'll see y'all next week.
See y'all at 5th level next week.
Oh, man.
Have a good night, everybody.